Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start our class today with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Gurudev, Paramahansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Help us to uplift ourselves, our consciousness, through thy music, through thy vibration, through thy energy and magnetism, through song. Bless our class today as we attune ourselves to thee. Om Shanti Shanti. Today we'll start with a beautiful song of Swamiji's, and I request you to sing along on the refrain. Welcome again, friends. Then we'll see a video clip, brief of Swamiji on this topic of singing out with joy.
Every morning when I greet the sun, when I move forth through crowded ways, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. When I laugh, oh, and when I cry with pain, when my best friends misunderstand, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. Dear God, my God, I am thine for eternity. Dear God, my God, I am thine eternally. Though my path lead me over deserts sands, though it take me through bitter storms, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. When I'm working and when in end repose, that come victory or low defeat, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of thee. Dear God, my God, I am thine for eternity. Dear God, my God, I am thine eternally. Dear God, my God, I am thine for eternity. Dear God, my God, I am thine eternally.
Music, I think, is perhaps the most important art, because more than any other art, in my opinion at least, it touches the heart. The more you can listen to music, this is what a book I read recently talked about, the Chinese emperors, that they would tour the provinces, and they didn't ask to see the books or talk to the officials and all that. What they asked was to listen to the music. If the music was wrong, they knew something else would be wrong in the city government. If the music was right, everything was right. And if it was wrong, they knew that they didn't have to correct this. They had to correct the music. Now, there's a lot of truth in that. It may be a myth, it may not be an actual fact. Doesn't matter. There are many truths that are not necessarily factual, but they illustrate principles that are eternal. When your music is right, your heart is right. That's what is so sad about today's music. It is so jagged, so frenetic. I look back over I always read people's consciousness through music. And as I look back through the history of popular music, because that says it more. So from let's say the 18th century with the minuet, which was graceful but very stylized, up through the waltz. You know, people used to think the waltz was really degenerate. Women touching men, unthinkable. In public, you know. So there was a lot of thought that this was debased music. Well, they hadn't seen nothing yet. And you came up into the 20th century, and people's arms, legs sort of flying everywhere, completely out of control. Then you got into the big band, ba-bam, ba-bam, so much ego. Everything in music has a message. It says something. And when you listen to the music of rock and roll and heavy metal and all these things, you're really exposing yourself to a state of consciousness, not just music. It is not just a question of taste. It's a question of truth. And does your truth really resonate with restlessness and anguish and anger and violence? I don't believe it does, because you're a child of God as much as I am. God wants to express himself and enjoy himself through all. God wants you to come to him. And that means you need to listen to music that soothes your consciousness, that uplifts your consciousness.
Welcome again, friends. That's a beautiful talk by Swamiji. I would like to start with just a couple of brief readings. These are Master's words on sound. Sound is the most powerful force in the universe, and music is a divine art to be used as a path to God realization. And of all healing types, vibratory healing is of the greatest importance. Scientifically understood and applied, vibratory healing through chanting and affirmation has the effect of sending a volley of energy down through the nervous system, healing diseased tissues of the body, mind, and soul. Thus, chanting may be used both in self-healing and in healing others. And some scientific data from the internet I found on devotional chanting. It can cause the left and right hemispheres of the brain to synchronize, oxygenate and calm the brain, reduce the heart rate and blood pressure. So this is an important topic. It's not, as Swamiji said, I like this kind of music, I don't like this, I don't like to sing, I do like to sing, all of this. And I recently got into someone's car, and this has happened a couple of times where the music wasn't ours. It was some other kind of loud, Rajasic music. And I said, I know you're not listening to that. And the person, they always say, no, Dhyanaji, I'm not listening to that kind of music. But what you listen to in your house, in your car, as you go for a walk, it's going right into your consciousness. And it's either helping you, expanding you, helping you to perceive higher realities. It's either uplifting you, bringing your energy down, making you nervous, making you restless, agitating the senses. It's having a deep effect on you. You just have to know that. And I grew up in a family where, we listened to whatever was being played those days of jazz and rock and whatever. And that's the kind of music we had in our house. And so I thought that was it. And then as I got into junior high school, maybe even before, there was a possibility of learning how to play an instrument. So I picked up the violin and we started playing classical music. I went, wow, this is wonderful. Just so much better than what I had been brought up on. So I played the violin, then I played the cello, and I thought that was great. And I started listening to classical. Then Master drew me onto this path. And I heard Master's chants. And I thought, this is the music of God. This is the music I've been longing for. This is the music of the soul. This is the music of self-realization. I didn't know that term so much then until I got more deeply on the path. And so I began to chant Master's chants, and I just saw the power of it. I didn't know what was really going on, but I felt so changed in my consciousness. I felt cleansed. I felt a bigger energy and aura and magnetism. And then I went to Ananda, and Swamiji wrote one song after another. I was there for many of the songs that he wrote, and he would come out and say, I've got a new song. I just wrote this song. Let's listen to this song. And then if it was a chant, he would say, now let's chant this song together. And he would be on the harmonium and we would be chanting. And if it was a choral piece, he would say, now let's sing. You sing this part, you sing that. I mean, he was thrilled with this music. It had been given to him by God and Guru. It wasn't he wanted to write music, and he wrote 400 pieces of music. That's a lot of music. And it was just coming one piece after another. And so this music was given to Swamiji by God for us. Let's not forget, he didn't need the music. We need the music. And it's a part of Swamiji's legacy, that he left this body of music that we can sing, we can play it, we can listen to it, we can get absorbed in it, we can change our consciousness from it. I'm living in Swamiji's music all the time. I love singing and I love playing instruments. I play the harmonium. I can play the tanpur. I mean, that's not very hard to play, but I can also now play the esraj to a degree. Of course, then I have a gong in my meditation room and various instruments, violin and the cello. I don't have those right now, but I mean, the music it's a part of life. It's a part of being whole. And our music is spiritualized. It's powerful. It's like healing, just like if energization or yoga postures or meditation. The music is a part of the body of Ananda's path. And as we use it, we become healed. Just like if you're getting healed through energization, you're getting healed through yoga, you're getting healed through meditation, you're getting healed. And so let's not put it aside and say, oh, I don't sing or I don't sound good, or who cares how you sound? Just go in the shower and sing or whatever you want to do, but sing out with joy. And as you sing in the car, like I have drivers up in Delhi. Now I'm down here in Pune, but all the drivers know most of the songs because I sing all the way. Wherever I'm going, I sing all the way to the destination. I sing all the way back. There's always a different song. And I live in that music. And also, now that I'm playing the Esraj, I'm just playing one song after another, even if I'm not playing it that well yet. In a year, it'll be much better. But Swamiji is just saying, play this song. You can play that song. And it's just so wonderful to live in such a high vibration. It's heavenly. So I urge you, harmonium's not that hard to play. And so what can you do? Of course, you can passively listen to the music. That's one thing. But that's passive, really. Start singing. So first you can listen. There's so much of Swamiji's music, as I just said, you can listen to it. But then try to sing some of it. Sing along with the recordings. Okay, that's one level. Or then go to a kirtan. sing along in the kirtan. If you feel like your voice isn't so good, why don't you train your voice more? I mean, get a singing teacher or work with your voice. People tell me, oh, your voice is so nice. And I didn't take any classes in voice. I just sang. I've been singing for decades. Swamiji's music. I know every piece of music. That's maybe an exaggeration because there's so much. But if I hear when I'm playing now with the Yasraj, if I hear the first note of one of Swamiji's songs, I know the rest of the song. I know the songs because we've all heard them over and over and over and over. We've heard them, we've sung them. I remember Swamiji looked at me when I came to Ananda and he said, do you sing? And I had the nerve to say no. And he said, sing anyway. And he wanted you to get involved. And so, first of all, listen and then sing the music. Best as you can. Go to Kirtan, get in a choir. There are different choirs. I mean, we're working on the music here in India. We need more help, but we've got Bharat here who's going to be helping us singing. Bharat, who was Bharat, those of you know, but get in a choir if you can. Next thing, get an instrument. Just do something, clang, bang, whatever, but do something, get some kirtals and play them. Learn how to play them, first of all. Swamiji said the bell sound helps to open the heart and dissolve the emotions and help you to awaken devotion. So thus, and Master himself, he played various instruments. He played the yasraj, he played the gong, he played the harmonium, probably played many other things, but he played the gong so that he said, this is the sound of Om. So playing the bells, playing the gong, it's very much opening in the heart. And what's the end result? You change, your consciousness changes. You can meditate better. You're more clearly on the path. Your mind is more clear. You have more inspiration. You have more ideas coming to you. And more than anything, you're in attunement. You're in attunement with God. I love it. The door opens with music. Door of my heart, open. If your heart's not open, you're just thinking as philosophy. Oh, I think this. You're not going to get very far. You need the heart. Even Swami Sri Teswarji said you can't even take one step on the spiritual path until you open your heart, till you learn how to love. And music opens the heart and just opens the door to God. And I'm realizing it more and more. Master gave the key. He gave tools and techniques, and he gave the key of opening the door of the heart. Chanting is half the battle. That's a lot. Half, 50% of the way you get there through chanting. And so I encourage you, urge you, get a harmonium. If you can't play, get a little instrument that you, I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but the keyboard. Yeah, get a keyboard or get a harmonium and take classes, get into it. And if you can't play that, sing along, but at least get going with singing, not just listening. And you will find that I find, wow, I was missing a lot. I mean, I was struggling with meditation until I got into music. I got into the music and wow, immediately. It's so much more, you can move towards God much more quickly, feeling the presence in your heart if you can get into music. So sing out and sing out with joy. The last part is joy. What comes from singing? I'm happy all the time because I'm singing all the time. I remember once we were coming down from Mumbai to Pune, and one of my dear friends here in Pune, I was sitting in the back and there were a couple of friends, and there was just three of us, but I just had to sing. I was singing the whole way. And he says, Dhyana, is this something new for you? It's singing all the time? It is, in certain parts of your life, your spiritual path, there's different emphasis. And once Master gets you focusing in the heart, it's so blissful and it's so sweet. And the presence of God is so, so near. So I urge you, encourage you, I support you in singing out with joy. God bless you. And I'll ask Nitendra now to join me. And he has a few questions.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji, for sharing the beautiful experiences. The first question we have, Dhyanaji, is as you mentioned that Master said chanting is half the battle. So why did he say what's the battle he was talking about?
The battle of meditation is one. I mean, if you're restless, if you're nervous, if your mind is racing, if your body's hurting, if you can't sit still, how are you going to meditate? And people come home from work and they sit down in the chair and hope something's going to happen, or they get out of bed in the morning and sit in the chair. If you can chant, just even a little bit, even for a couple of minutes, you find that chanting calms the nerves. I just read that from the studies from the internet. It calms it, restlessness and the thoughts, and you just can go into meditation much more quickly, much more easily. So that's one of them, half the battle of the meditation, half the battle of the spiritual life, I would say, because there's so many delusions out there. There's so many other energies. There's so many other levels of consciousness that aren't the ones you want to be on. And so if you're listening to certain kinds of music, you're with certain people, you're with certain environments, you're going to be pulled. And so if you can, sometimes you have to be. Sometimes I've been in, like yesterday, I was in the bank. Did I want to be in the bank? No, I didn't want to be in the bank, but I had to be in the bank. So I had to do some things. And there were so many people and so many energies and cross currents. And so, you know, in my chanting last night, I got rid of the bank. You see the difference? So I had a tool so I could just get rid of those vibrations. Sometimes you have to be at the airport. I'm at the airport, seems like every other week. But because I'm chanting, I'm not hanging on to those vibrations. So half the battle of just being in this world, and probably more, many more half the battles, but I would say for sure half the battle of finding God is opening your heart. If your heart's not open, you're gonna have a really hard, long battle, because the heart has the power. We get our energy into the heart, and then you lift that power up to the spiritual eye, and you've got something to work with. But most people's hearts are just so emotional. It's an emotion instead of devotion. They got this problem, this worry, and this fear, and they don't like this person, and that happened to them, and this, that's only now. Think about yesterday and a year ago and 10 years ago. Think about other lifetimes. It's a mountain of karma that's stored there emotionally in the heart. I remember one time I felt this big chunk of karma that just fell off from after years of trying to work on it. I felt I could just levitate. I didn't, but I felt so light from the karma. So if you can just keep working on that, keep working on it, keep working on it through the chanting, you just feel more and more free until you just start lifting up. You lift up in meditation, you lift up in your life, and you lift up towards God and gurus. Without that lift, how are you going to get there? Willpower, affirmation, analyzing it, philosophizing? Try it. It just doesn't work. You need the power. And the power of God is, Master said, try lifting the energy up to the heart and use that power to move up to the spiritual eye. And you'll find that it's much, much, much easier. Why did Swamiji chant all the time? We didn't even know what a tanpura was. He had this big tanpura at Ananda village. He had a harmonium, he had tabla. I mean, he had us chanting all the time. He would come around with cymbals, and sometimes in the mornings, early on, he would wake you up with chanting, you know, as you strolling kirtan. I mean, it's a part of the path. Use it and you'll find it will help you to really go far on the path. And Master said halfway. That's quite a lot.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question we have is there any difference between the chants versus the songs that we sing at Ananda, and when
Yeah,
should we?
chant is like a mantra. A chant is a powerful affirmation. And interestingly enough, Swamiji said that a lot of the chants that people chant these days are names of God, some of the gods or some of the great ones. You know, they're just calling out the names. But that's one way, but you're just hoping that something's going to happen. But Master's chants are affirmative. Door of my heart, open. I'm opening the door of my heart. You think of a chant, listen to my soul song. Listen, you're putting out energy. It's using will and energy. It's not help me, help me, help me, help me. It's like you're putting out energy. You're affirming. And listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. And then joy, joy, ever new joy. I mean, these are affirmative. You're saying, I'm going for it. I'm putting out the energy. I'm going halfway to meet you. And it's not like, come here and meet me. And so it's the reverse. It's like you're putting out the energy. So a chant is affirmative. The songs they're affirmative too, but in a different way. They're uplifting in thought and consciousness. A chant goes over and over and over the same words, and that goes deeper and deeper, just like an affirmation. If you put power into that, more and more quietly, and then whisper chanting and then mental chanting, it gives you quite a lot. And then the songs, as you sing the songs, you just feel uplifted, or you feel deep, or you feel in the spine, or you feel the energy here, or the words are themselves healing. And the words are so beautiful because Swamiji so beautifully wrote them. And I find that his songs are they're simple, but they are deep in their vibration. The notes that he used, the words that he used, they just pierce your consciousness. And they just get rid of whatever stagnant energy there and blocks that they are, and obstacles and wrong thoughts and fears and doubts. And you can choose one of the different songs. I Live Without Fear. It's a beautiful song. If you're feeling fearful, put that song on and sing it. It's just one of the most beautiful ones. And the children's songs, give me a light to light my life, light my way. Truth is the light, so wise men say. Or lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Fling to the ground every heavy burden. This is so beautiful. I'm singing these songs as I'm learning them on the instrument. I'm singing them as well. And they're just, Swamiji said, if you want to get to know me, listen to my music. Of course, to get to know him more, you have to go into the spiritual eye, but at least a good step is listening to the music. I mean, that music shows where his heart and consciousness were. And as we sing it, like Master said too, if you sing this chant, he said, I sang them over and over and over till I got a divine response. He had people singing an hour and a half. Oh God, beautiful. Till they broke through the stagnation and felt God's presence. And so Swamiji, he said, my chants, my songs are tuned to Om, the Om vibration. So as you sing Swamiji's chant, you feel, whoa, I mean, songs, the energy goes right up to the spiritual eye. Try it. And also with the chanting, energy goes up to the spiritual eye. It's just different ways of going to the same place, God consciousness, uplifting consciousness and super consciousness.
Thank you so
One
much.
more?
Yes, Dhyanaji, one last question. So you did mention that we can train our voices, but till the time we don't have a good voice, is it okay to listen to the songs and chants rather than singing them incorrectly, perhaps?
I think it's an excuse to keep saying you don't have a good voice. I mean, some people do have difficulty with singing, and, they should sing softly. I would say sing softly for a while if you're in a group, maybe even sing mentally till you can get some sound coming out. But having a teacher, even you can get an online teacher, just to even give it 6 months to work on your voice, just so that you can get the notes right. And if you start, I mean, a teacher can really help you. I remember Swamiji said he had a singing teacher, and he would sing, and she would say, no, that's not quite right. And no. And then finally, after 6 months, she said, that note, that's how all your notes should be. And so I'm telling you, my music teacher, last week, I finally got something right. And he looked at me, after 6 months, I felt like Swamiji. And he says, finally. So it takes time. You can't just overnight have a beautiful voice. Finally. So just work at it. But what I'm saying is don't put in the closet for the lifetime. I can't sing. I won't sing. I'll never sing. Everybody else sings. Just do what you can. And a few lessons won't hurt you at all. And I think you can at least try it. What I'm just trying to say is don't be passive and just say, I can't do it. There's so many people who say, I can't do it. I won't do it. And one other thing I'm thinking about, so get a teacher if you possibly can, and don't make an excuse. But one other story I remember, we were in Italy living there, and at the beginning, nobody could meditate. I mean, it was brand new. We were teaching people and they could meditate we were used to meditating for a long time, but these people couldn't meditate but 15, 20 minutes after you first learn, you know. So I mean, I went to Swamiji, I should say. I said, Swamiji, we never even meditate hardly here. We just chant, and chant. The chanting was nice, but we didn't get a chance to meditate very much. And this is what I'll end with today. He looked at me and he said, you need to chant. I'm telling you, that's what I would say to you all. You need to do it. And as you do it, you find what a gift Master's given us and Swamiji through the chanting, through the music, and through the songs. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.